All right, hey everyone, I'm Brittany here. So I'm super excited to have Crystal with me today. She's known me, oh my God, almost like 3 years now. She's been, she's done a couple of my programs, but her and I first initially met when I was doing group coaching back in California. So I've known her for a really long time. I'm super proud of like everything she's accomplished, everything she's doing. So with that being said, Crystal, please tell me or tell everyone about yourself and your lifestyle.
Hey, hi everyone. Yes, Brittany, you were my first coach at my very first OTF class. That's how I remember you. And I was very nauseous when that was over and not feeling very good at all. So I've come a long way from then, but that was kind of the first starting point of really trying to get myself in shape because I was pre-diabetic at that time and needed to, take some weight off and just feel better. Um, Before COVID, I did take a new job in San Francisco. So I was really worried about how I was going to continue my workouts because at that time I was mainly focused on working out because it was a 2-hour commute for me each way. So that was 4 hours I was spending commuting, and I was like, how am I going to make this work? So, I did continue going to OTF mainly on the weekends because that was really the only time that I could do that. But what I did when I commuted is I actually got off at the BART station a mile from work, and I would walk to work and back to the BART station every day. So that was allowed me to get in some movement in addition to the OTF. And then when COVID hit and I was working from home, like a lot of people, and I still am working from home, I really lost my way. I have to say, I was completely sedentary. Gyms were closed. Everything was, and I also have severe arthritis in both my knees, and so I hadn't been able to, I haven't been able to run, and so I was like, what am I going to do? And I just started eating like a lot of people did. And that's when you posted about the little black dress challenge. And I'm like, yes, it was almost like this is being sent to me for a reason. This is what, so I'm going to do this. And that turned everything around because it was like, I was so focused on the nutrition, which I hadn't really been before. And as you always say, you can't out train a bad diet. So
Yes,
um,
yes.
I got the nutrition, the nutrition help from you because I had never really focused much on that. And also got inspired as I was feeling better with eating better and just my body was feeling better. I invested in some knee sleeves, and I don't know if that made the difference or not, and then I started running little by little. I mean, the first day I ran for like 5 minutes. It was like all that I could do. And, um, but I was building up and building up. And so eventually during your program, towards the end, I actually ran that 10K that I wanted to run. So I got
I
that done.
love it. Oh
Yeah.
my God. That's,
Yeah.
yeah. Like I remember when you were doing the 10K and I was like, and granted, I was like super pregnant. So I was just like, oh my God, if only I could run that, just not pregnant. You like inspired me. Like every time like I'm running, I'm like, oh my God, you know what? She does this like on the regular and you know, you inspire me as far as the running because I hate running.
Yeah, I've actually decided that I really like it, which I didn't before. But now that I took it slow and just built up, and now I'm still doing the strength training
Mhm.
at OTF, lifting those weights, which I know is really important. Like I tend to just, or I had in the past just done cardio, but I know now that that's not necessarily the best approach. You got to take both. But running for me now is more of a mental thing. It's such a stress reliever and it sets me up so great for the day. I have a better day if I exercise, whether it is running or whatever in the morning. I'm finding that the mornings are really good for me.
No, that's great because like I'm not a morning person, so for me to wake up early and do that, it's very daunting. um, So I'm so glad that it works out for you, because I think a lot of people too, like they think, oh, I have to do it in the morning or I have to do it at night. But you honestly just need to do it when you feel that you're gonna be able to do your best. Like any time is perfect. And you're absolutely right about the strength training. Like it, as a trainer, like it's crazy how many people avoid strength training, especially females.
Mhm.
And even if they do the strength training, like they'll go with the lighter weights because they don't want to bulk up. And I'm like, oh my gosh, get out of that mindset. Like that's not like your body is not meant, like us women, we won't bulk up unless like you're taking roids, like
Mhm.
you know stuff, and going way heavier. Because I remember like you were a little nervous at first too, but I'm so glad that like you're like, I hear you like saying yes, it's more than just cardio, it's also like strength training. And
Mhm.
how did eating better affect those workouts?
Um, Honestly, I felt well. It was mentally and physically. I felt strong. I just felt stronger. Like I felt more capable. Whether and I have to believe that that was a physical and a mental thing. That you know, um, eating better when I would wake up in the morning, I was actually energized as opposed to sluggish. Um, and that just translated into the workouts where I felt like I was giving it more, where I was working harder because I had it to give, you
Mhm.
know? So, and it's a confidence thing too. As I was eating better, I was just feeling better. And so instead of going into a workout going, oh, I don't know, can I do this? I was like, yes, give me the heavier weight. Yes, I got this. So I do think it was mental and physical.
Yeah, it's just like I think a lot of people like we only, see it as like, oh, it's working out and it seems like such a chore. But I think, and especially with food too, because like a lot of people don't want to go into that diet and they're like, oh, I don't want to go on a diet. Like, I'll miss carbs or, I'll miss, X, Y, and Z. But like when you put in, you have to think of it as food is fuel, right?
Mhm.
And once you focus on the inside, the outside is just going to come. Like, is that something you could probably agree with?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And that was also a mindset that changed as I've been working with you on the programs and stuff. Is that it's not a diet. It's I I'm learning that this is kind of a lifestyle. This is kind of how my body prefers that I eat. And I'm not really, yeah, I mean, sure, I guess I'm missing out on some things, but it's not like I never have those things. I just try to limit those as best as I can. And I'm still learning. I'm not perfect, so I'm, maybe having a little two more slices of pizza than I should if I'm going to do that or whatever. But um, I don't feel that deprived. The food is you can eat healthy food and it doesn't have to be boring. I used to think it was the only way to eat healthy was to like grill a piece of chicken, have a little bit of brown rice and some steamed broccoli. That would be my plate. And I remember when my kids lived here, they're gone now, but they even got to the point where they're like, Mom, we can't eat this again because that was all I would make would be like chick because I was trying. So, but these recipes from they taste good, they're flavorful, they're different, so you're not eating the same thing every time. So it's nice to see that you can eat healthy and have it still taste good and not be boring. So
Yes. I tell people that all the time. It doesn't have to be boring. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, and I think exactly what you said too, because I was the same way, when I first initially started was, chicken, brown rice, green veggies, like that, right? And like
yep.
just maybe sprinkle in some egg whites and some other healthy stuff or whatever. But yeah, I think you're right. I think it's just like a mentality thing because, I think our society is like, okay, eating healthy is this, 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 but you don't have to deprive yourself. And another thing too is just like you said, moderation. Like I'm a huge wino. The whole world knows I'm a huge wino. You honestly think I'm gonna give up on wine? Like, no.
Yeah, no.
You just can't eat like a garbage disposal. Like you can't out train a bad diet, like you said before. I do say that all the time.
Yep.
And I mean, it's true. Like, I hate to say it, like, don't get me wrong. Like, am I gonna probably eat a whole pizza if during my cheat meal? Probably. Like, sometimes I have no self-control, and that's okay. Like, it's all about consistency and progress. Like, no one is going to be perfect. I tell people this all the time, you're gonna slip up.
Absolutely.
And yeah, you're gonna slip up, and it's okay. Like, even in my programs, you know how many people like messaged me, especially that first Little Black Challenge? I think you were actually one of them. And I'm like, oh, I like really messed up. And I'm
Oh
like,
yeah. Oh yeah.
it's okay. Just move forward. You can't do anything about it now. It's in the past. You're not looking that way. Like, let's look forward. Like, all right, how are we gonna move forward? Like, it's again going back into the consistency and not necessarily perfection.
Yeah, there was this quote that I read, and I keep in mind all the time. It's a quote that says, long-term consistency beats short-term intensity. And it is really, really true, because, it's what you do over the long haul, not what you do in 2 weeks or in 3 weeks. And so during that time, I mean, I've made progress, but I've also gained weight, dropped it back, because I am human too. And those cheat meals, I was just telling you before we started this, are difficult for me. Bring in the wine, bring in the cookies, it's just a mentality that I'm trying to achieve more balance overall, and I think balance and moderation, like you said, is really key. And it's something I'm still learning.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. It's just like a lot of people think, like, when starting like a health and fitness journey or whatever, it's like you have to be strict and you're going to get results right away. And, it's like this straight, narrow path. And it's not. It's, like you said before, and, I always preach it too, it's not a diet, it's a lifestyle change. And just like, in your career or, and just like any aspect of your life, you're going to continue to keep learning. So it's just the same thing. Like, no, this is my profession and I'm still learning. Like, everything changes, more science is coming out, more studies, and it's just, you're right. It's just, no one's perfect, and it's a learning process. Like, even for me, it's still a learning process, and understanding that balance. Because don't get me wrong, like, when I first started, I had that mentality when I did prep for competitions. Like, I was on this very strict diet, and when it talks about broccoli, rice, and gray beans, like, that was literally what I was eating for like 12 weeks.
Oh.
And so when I got off of it, I didn't understand how to essentially like keep going. So I inhaled everything. I like ate pizza, I drank Dr. Pepper, I had so much sugar because of a sweet tooth, and I gained all my weight back.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons why, in my programs, I always try to do like a cheat meal so you don't feel like you're deprived, because I've been there where you feel like you're deprived for so long, and then you just binge, and all that work that you just did, it's back.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a learning process. It really is. So I'm so glad you said that. It really is.
Yeah.
Okay. So what would you say your aha moment was then?
During the program, the aha moment?
Just in general with your weight loss journey, or your fitness journey, if you will.
I would say, I hope this, I think this qualifies as an aha moment, but it was the day that I actually finally realized that the scale is not important.
Woo! Preach, girl! Preach! Yes! Oh my God.
Because you had told me this, other coaches had told me this from OTF, but it was the scale was all I could focus on. And that's why I wasn't sure if it qualified for an aha moment, because it's not like one day all of a sudden I just went, oh, it doesn't matter. But there was a moment when I realized that I didn't care about it anymore. And so I think that's what it was for me. I still step on it because it just is a gauge that helps, but I completely more go by how I'm feeling. Because when I haven't exercised or I haven't eaten right, like after a binge meal or cheat meal, I feel it. I don't feel good. I mean, so I know when I'm eating right and when I'm doing the right things for my body. I just know. Plus, you can go buy your clothes or whatever. So I try really hard. I just don't care about that number. And, I'm doing the challenge at OTF, the transformation challenge, but it's not the scale that I concerned about. I'm doing it to make sure I stay to my workout plan and to make sure, and I am trying to work on body fat. That's really kind of my goal now.
Yeah. Oh my God. I'm like, so first off, that is a huge aha moment. So don't take that away because
Okay.
especially with us women, we become a slave to the scale.
Mhm.
And I myself, I still fall victim into this where like you feel like you need to go based on scale, but the scale is just a tool, right?
Right.
And that's why we did measurements. That's why we did progress photos, because just because the scale didn't move didn't mean you didn't make any progress. So I mean, I always tell a lot of people this too, is like you're losing fat, but you're also gaining muscle. So that scale might just be, staying along the same, same weight because muscle is more dense than fat. And that's why, you shouldn't just do just the scale. And if the scale is something that's not, beneficial to you, like if it's like a toxic thing, don't
Mhm.
step on it, hide it.
Mhm.
Like I
Well,
will
it
step on,
was.
yeah,
Mhm.
and like so for me, like I am one of those people who step on the scale every day. But you have to make sure it's healthy for you. Like, okay, like I'm on track, or I'm using it as a tool, like see where if I'm staying on track, or I need to make some tweaks. But
Mhm.
some people they just get too focused on that scale and they're like, oh, I gained 3 pounds overnight. And I'm like, don't, no. Like, what did you eat? Is it more sodium? Are you starting your cycle? Or, like, are you stressed out, lack of sleep? Like, there's so much that affects that body weight
Mhm.
that, yes, I'm so glad you said that as an aha moment because I'm going to keep preaching it. So hopefully people listen to this, they can understand.
Well, you were with, I mean, I was doing the program with you when I was saying I'm not losing weight. Remember, I would say the scale's not moving. In fact, it went up a couple of times, and I was just like, "What's going on?" And that, and we talked about that. But my clothes were fitting better, and and I looked better. You saw the progress photos, even
Oh,
though the scale didn't move. I was looking better. And plus, I have to also, there is some self-acceptance that everybody needs to have in the fact that, I'm definitely older and going through menopause right now. And my body just is changing. And I have to, I mean, yes, I want to continue to train and I want to eat right because I feel better, but I also don't want to focus so much on the scale either because I am gaining weight for hormonal reasons and other things that I don't have a lot of control over that part of it.
mhm.
So,
And no, that's, you hit it right on the point too. It's just, life happens. And us women, we, like cycles, menopause, pregnancy, like our body, it just goes through so much.
mhm,
And just to focus just on the scale, it can be toxic if you don't, you know, do work on that mentality. Because a lot of it, you're right, like even just starting a journey, it's a lot of it is mindset and the mentality. Like
mhm,
I could give you all the tools of, a workout plan or, nutrition, but unless your mind is right, it's you're just probably not going to really progress as much as you should and you
mhm,
can.
mhm.
Yeah, so I'm
Yeah,
so glad you said that too.
yeah.
I love
So,
love this.
Yeah, no. But yeah, I struggled even though I was so ready to do the LBD challenge. We talked about it, was like, yes, I got to do this. That first week was tough. I mean, I'm gonna admit it, but you have to stay the course, and you just have to believe that it's going to pay off, and which it did, so.
Yeah. Yeah. No, yeah, I remember, I mean, I can't believe that's almost been a year now. But I remember, you stressing out about the weight gain, but I
Yep.
remember sending you your week to week progress and sending it to be like, listen, like, let's again focus on mentality because you're still progressing. Just trust the process.
Mhm.
Because I know like we live in that society where it's instant gratification. If we don't lose 10 pounds in a week, we give up and it's on to the next thing that's going to promote 10 pounds in a week.
Yeah.
And stopping isn't going to get you anywhere. You have to keep going. So
Mhm.
circling back to this whole conversation, it's literally consistency, eating
Mhm.
right, working out, and mentality.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah.
just crazy. So, because obviously I always preach that, what would you say, like when someone wants to start like a new fitness journey or a new health journey? Because it doesn't necessarily have to be just fitness,
Right.
but just like a health journey. What advice would you give someone who wants to start?
Well, this kind of speaks to what we've also been talking about too, is that my clock's going off. Sorry about that. Um, is that you don't expect perfection. I think when we start out something new, it's like, well, not only is perfection, but we also take on way too much at one time. I think it's kind of like, you can take smaller steps and you can make progress and not beat yourself up for being perfect when you slip up, because that's when I have always reverted back to my old habits, is when I have one mistake. And people just, you just need to stick it out. It's like, I can't say that enough. It's like, you make a mistake, but just start back the next day. Don't let one slip up keep you going downhill. So it's like, just make that commitment to yourself and stay the course, and you'll get there. Eventually you'll get there. I mean, you're going to keep moving forward as long as you keep trying to do the right thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, because like you're exactly right. Because I do the same thing. Well, again, like I'm working on it myself, but if I have one slip up, I'm like, well, screw it. You know what? I'll add, the pizza, the dessert, the whatever. And, there's this quote that's, what is it? One flat tire. If you slip up, it's like one flat tire and then you slash all the other ones instead of just fixing that one flat tire. And it's like, it's true. Like, just fix that one mistake or slip up. It doesn't even, don't even consider it a mistake. It's a slip up. Life happens. You're human.
Mhm.
And just move forward. So I love that advice.
Yeah.
Anything else that you feel like these wonderful people listening should know?
I think that everyone should know that they're completely capable and able of doing anything they set their mind to do. I think nothing is an impossibility. And I know, it can be daunting if you have 100 pounds to lose. But I started this journey before I met you, but I started this journey way, way back when I was over 200 pounds. I mean, so I've lost 70 pounds so far. And I never thought that I could do it because I had a horrible lifestyle. I wasn't eating right at all. I wasn't exercising at all. Like, I was just, and I feel like if I can do it, anybody can do it. I know, you just you have to have the right coach, thank you, who's helping you and keeping you accountable. You have to know why you're doing what you're doing. I think that's really, really important. But anybody can do it. Anybody.
I love it. Oh, thank you so much for doing this. If people have questions, where can they reach out to you?
Well, they can email me, or I don't mind phone calls either. I mean, texts. I never answer my phone. So either
Um,
or.
okay, so I will put your email in the little thing right here. So
Mhm.
if anyone has any questions, want to hear more about her story, please feel free to reach out to her. She's so amazing. And her story is truly inspiring. I love you, Crystal. I adore you.
Thank
Thank
you
you
for
so much for doing this. Again, if anyone has any questions, please reach out. If you are wanting to start a program, let's go ahead and do it. Just message me. Otherwise, I hope you enjoy. I hope you took something away from this, and I will see you guys next time.
Thank you. Bye.